Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Divorce-a-Palooza. And I want to talk about an area of self-care called wealth care. Now, when people think of self-care, they think of making sure that you go to the doctor, doing nice things for yourself, getting massages, getting pedicures, taking care of yourself. And that's all great. But wealth care means taking care of your financial health. And to talk about that, I have a great guest. Her name is Amanda Campbell, and Amanda is a financial advisor with Wealth Spire, and she has a niche in women and also women going through a divorce. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Tell me what wealth care is. What does that mean to you?
I think at its most basic form, wealth care is truly feeling really good, feeling empowered, feeling secure and safe with your money. Money is such a fear for women. And the second that we can start to feel unafraid by it and feel empowered by it, that's wealth care. It shouldn't keep you up at night, right?
So, what are some of the feelings that can be unhealthy when it comes to money, like guilt, shame?
All of those guilt, shame, anger, fear, any of those negative reactions that are so prominent when it comes to money, just that complete misunderstanding, right? And I find that a lot of fear around money just comes from misunderstanding it, right? So the more comfortable you can get with money, your money in particular, your wealth, the quicker you can kind of banish those feelings, right?
Love it. Okay, you wrote an article for Divorce Girl Smiling, and it has a wealth care checklist in it, and there are a few things on it. There's 10 things on it, I think. Yeah, no, there's 5 things on it, and we're going to try to touch on all of them for this. So, you write, what if women approached money management as an area of self-care? The outcomes may be very different. So the first one you wrote is let go of negative self-talk about money. What does that mean? What do people do?
Oh, just letting go of the I don't deserve this or I can't afford this. Any of those things that we inherently tell ourselves about money, right? Or just the ever basic money is the root of all evil. No, it's not, right? Letting go of those negative just perceptions about something that can be so beautiful for us once we feel confident about it. I always say, it's okay to love money. It really is. Loving money helps you to do really great things for the people that you love and yourself, right? So just letting go of all that negativity that has a lot of times just been ingrained in our minds is really the first step to money security and money confidence.
And I think this there's people listening who maybe are getting divorced or got divorced and they were a stay-at-home mom, so they feel guilty like, "Oh, I took all this money away in the divorce and I didn't make it. My husband did while I was a stay-at-home mom." Why is that so the furthest thing from the truth?
Oh my gosh. It's just, I tell women all the time, you were the CEO of the household, right? If you were a stay-at-home mom, you were the CEO of the household, right? Whether you were raising children or just running the household and making sure bills got paid and, maintenance got done around the house. He was able to do the job he did outside of the house because you were doing the job you did inside of the house. And I just don't take that from women. I got to be honest. I'm like, no, you deserve this. This is your wealth. You earned it. Next discussion point.
Completely could not agree more, and if you feel guilty about money, you have to just stop. Okay,
Absolutely.
next tip is educate yourself. Do you think there's a lot of people who are watching this who the husband handled all the finances, they don't know anything, now they feel sort of like ashamed because they don't understand the market, they've never read a bank statement. Tell me about that.
Yes, and that's why my sister and I wrote our book. So we wrote the Health and Wealth Sisters 360 Action Plan because we wanted a roadmap for women to understand their health and wealth in a meaningful and honest and easy way without all the jargon, right? Because I'll be honest, I've been in this industry for 15 years and I get intimidated by the Wall Street Journal and Squawk Box and all of that. The jargon is so heavy in this industry. But having a strong financial plan, having a strong portfolio, those are not scary or mystical things. It's actually pretty easy, right? And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. So if you're new to your wealth journey, I encourage you to find a financial advisor who you feel really comfortable talking with and just asking the basic questions. I always say there is no dumb question, and all financial planning has to start with financial literacy in some capacity, right? We're the expert. You're not like, but that's anything in life. I don't go to the doctor telling them what I have wrong with me. They're the expert.
Right.
It's the same with your money.
And don't beat yourself up thinking,
Ah,
oh, I should have, I didn't know this. It's never too late. It's not even complicated. You'll see, you are a smart person. You can figure it out, but you need to be educated. And how you do that is you get a really good financial advisor to help you, like Amanda. Okay, next tip is set short and long-term goals. Plan for the future. That's key. Tell me about that.
so I always say money is a tool for living your best life, right? A dollar is a dollar is a dollar. Doesn't really matter when you put it in that context, is what I really want to work with women and figure out what are your values backed goals? What do you want your wealth to do for you today, tomorrow, and 30 years down the line, if not more, right? So when creating a financial plan, during the divorce process or post divorce, and just think about what you want. What do you want out of this life? And that may be a really tough thing to understand as you're going through the divorce process. And it's okay to say, I don't know, but I think I might want to. And I encourage you, kind of, if you're going through that process right now, start to have those conversations with yourself. What do you want out of this life? Because it's going to look very different post divorce. And that can sometimes be a great thing.
Well, also, if you hire Amanda, she'll walk you through your divorce and can help bring out those questions. Like she'll ask you, and if you say, I don't know, Amanda might say, well, do you see yourself doing this? Because sometimes people don't even think of things and they might say, oh, I never thought of that. Right. I mean,
Or they feel limited, right, by their wealth. They don't know what their wealth can afford them, right? So many times women will be like, oh, I'd love to X, but there's just no way with what I have. And I'm like, well, actually, you very much could do X. We would just have to reprioritize or rejigger Y. And again, there's always a solution. But if you're not working with somebody who can help you find that solution, it can be really hard on your own to find it.
absolutely. Okay, last tip is make incremental changes. So I think what you mean by this is make small changes. Like you don't have to change your whole financial picture overnight, but like putting $25 a week into an account.
Hmm.
Or tell me some more little
Yes.
changes that can make you feel empowered and have a healthier relationship with money.
Yeah. So in my book, we really talk through baby steps, setting attainable, smart goals for yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was your financial plan, neither was your wealth. I say that to women all the time. Stop trying to solve a 30, 40, 50 year long issue in a 2 hour session with me. We've got time and we're going to figure it out. Right. So start with making small changes. Like sometimes someone will say, okay, well, post divorce, I need to start max funding my 401k. All right. Have you ever max funded your 401k before? Well, no, but I really need to do that post divorce. I need to have money. Well, that seems like a crazy 180. Like, let's start small, right? Maybe you start doing 5% of your salary to your 401k. Or maybe, something really as simple as, okay, well, I'm gonna need to go on a budget post divorce, and like I just don't know where to cut some things. All right, maybe you don't eat out for lunch every day when you're in the office. Maybe 2 of the 5 days you bring a lunch, right? Just small things that don't feel like they're taking over your life when you're already in such a vulnerable place. Small
Well,
things.
also there's the S word. You don't need Starbucks every single morning.
I know. Well, I will say it is funny. I do have a client that genuinely, she's like, that is my thing every day. And I'm like, well, then what is another thing that we're cutting? Because again, and I don't say I can't afford this. It's just, what are we reprioritizing?
Hmm.
Because most people do have to reprioritize post divorce. You're usually taking, a big pie of wealth and cutting it in half, right?
Mhm.
That's what divorce is. So, how are we reprioritizing your half of the pie?
And I think a lot of people make these changes and they feel so good about it. They feel so inspired. And, you've heard of girl math, right?
Yep. I love
So,
it.
like, you're thinking to yourself, like, well, I'm saving all this money. And even if, like, it's not that much. It's a mental thing that will make you feel like at least you have some control. You're doing something a little bit, and that's empowering and
Yeah.
will calm you down so you're not so freaking out about money all the time.
And I would say it might be great for your actual physical health too. Like, imagine if you're, and I use this example because I see it all the time. You're going through divorce, you're feeling overwhelmed. I'm just going to buy out lunch every day. It's probably not the healthiest, right? So, even if you make that change based on finance, oh, I'm going to bring lunch 2 times a week. I bet you're actually going to start eating better those 2 times a week too. So it's all connected. It's
For
all
sure.
connected.
And I'm gonna say one more thing because I know we have to go, but I think that if you don't eat out all the time, you really appreciate it more. So, like, if you eat, how you go on a trip and you go out to dinner every night, and by the last night you're kind of like, oh, I'm so sick of
Yeah.
it. Like, I want to go home. But if you don't eat out and then you're like, oh, I brought leftovers for 3 days in a row. Well, today I get to go, like, I'm gonna buy myself a nice lunch. So
Yes, it matters. And again, just finding where you can make those small baby steps is, oh my gosh, it'll take you further than you can imagine.
well, I love it. There you have your self-care is wealth care checklist. Amanda, thank you so much for being here today. Tell everyone who's watching where they can reach you if they want to talk to you and have a consult.
Yes, so the easiest way to reach me, Amanda Campbell at Wealthspire Advisors, is just an email at amanda.campbell@wealthspire.com, or you can call our office at 410-988-9494. I am in Maryland, but I practice nationally. Zoom's amazing, so call if you need anything or shoot an email.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.
And if you want to find Amanda on Divorce Girl Smiling, you can do that too. She's in the trusted professional section, along with so many other wonderful, trusted, vetted divorce professionals like divorce attorneys, mediators, real estate agents, therapists, divorce coaches, and more at divorcedgirlsmiling.com.